For recording, there we go. For anybody who does not know me, my name is Kate Harmon, and I am the Give Day coordinator. So if you have not met me yet, be ready to be so tired of seeing my face and my name come across your emails. As you guys register for the Give Day, our emails are going to be coming out weekly starting the week after the first, which is terrifying to think about. But I'll be here for you guys every step of the way. And new this year, I'll be sending out a link on everything that will include the ability for you to book time with me on my calendar to help go through and troubleshoot any issues you might be having. So trying to help more as much as we can. So we're not here to talk about regular Give Local. We're here to talk about the brand new Give Local York 365. Maybe some of you had seen our opinion piece that ran in the newspapers around Giving Tuesday. But to give you guys a little bit of background about the why, we are always, as a successful Give Day here in York County, supporting more than 300 nonprofits, looking for better ways to help you. And in doing so, we spend a lot of time talking with you, whether it's just in general, as I help you through some troubleshooting and idea planning, but also in surveys and whatnot, asking how we as Give Local can support you year round, not just during the 24 hours and the months leading up to it that we pop in to help you raise all that money. In talking with all of our nonprofits, and just for a little bit of background here, so there were 330 nonprofits participating this year's Give Local. Roughly half of those nonprofits come from the extra small to small category. So a lot of, like, almost, so many of our nonprofits are working with maybe one employee, two employees, maybe all volunteers. And so it's a huge section of the nonprofits that we're working with that fill those holes. And in these conversations, we found that 20% of our nonprofits have no way to do online giving except for during the Give Day. And another 22% only have the Give Day and PayPal. So that's over 40% of our participating nonprofits who needed a way for us to help. And that was something that we could easily do thanks to our partnership, not easily, but we could do with our partnership with GiveGab, now Bonterra, the organization that's been the platform behind the Giving Day since year 2. So Give Local York 365, for us, not only just a way for you guys to raise money when it's not Give Local time, but also a way to gather information on the nonprofits here in York County. Everything from, your board lists, who's your executive director, what's the breakdown, male, female, those kinds of breakdowns of your board, of your staff. Do you have financial plans? Your development plans, annual giving, planned giving? Are there holes that, as we ask these questions, we can then identify that maybe that's another thing we should take up to help you with? To identify those needs, and really, if we can't do it, we can find someone else. We can bring in someone to talk about legacy giving. We can bring in someone to help CRMs, another big thing that a lot of us don't have. These systems all talk together. So your donors for 365 look the same way as your donors for the Give Day, trying to make things easier and more comprehensive for all of you. So with that said, Megan, did that cover the whole quick high level?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I'll add in also that, we're in a period of transition right now when it comes to philanthropy in York County. A lot of changes happening at some of these anchor institutions, like the United Way, like York County Community Foundation, like Give Local York. And, we are trying to find ways that we can continue to be a good resource for the nonprofit community, but also be a good resource for donors who want to find you and who want to support you. We also realized that to date, there was no one-stop shop to be able to support nonprofits all year round outside of Give Day. So when this platform became available to take what we do one day a year and extend it, the rest of the year, we thought, why not? So this really is about listening to you, but it's also about having an eye on the community, and being able to fill in the gaps where they're needed, or potentially forecast ahead too, and to be able to sort of lead the way when it comes to supporting nonprofits in York County.
Well said, well
Yeah.
said. So what I'm going to do for everybody, just to kind of like give you a high level of what we're going to do for the next little bit of time, I'm going to show you the site real quick. We're going to kind of go through the FAQs that are on the site, and then I'm going to show you the back end a little bit. We'll have some time for questions. It's okay if you're like, oh Lord, what am I supposed to do next? We're going to be here to help you through it. You do not have to do it today. The best thing about this process is that we acknowledge that this is extra work for you. So we're going to try to help eliminate that as well. When you register for Give Local York, we on the back end will register you for 365. And then you'll get an email that says, hey, you're registered for 365. You go in, fill out certain parts that I'll show you when we get there, and then hit submit. I take a look. There's a lot of stuff that you have the option to put in, but not everything is required. And you'll see that there are reasons for that. The required things are not minimal. It's going to take you time if you don't already have it. If you're someone who does grants a lot, you probably have all of this information in a file ready to go, because it's the usual stuff people need: the board lists, the makeup, your non-discrimination policy, your 990, the things that you should have around. And if you don't, we're here to help you find a way to put that together for you. So I'm going to share my
I'll just jump into that. For this first year, we've sort of been using the language that this is a soft launch, right? So for this first year, this is really about all of us being able to figure out this platform, getting everybody onboarded, helping you through setting up your profile. So all that to say, like, this is not something that you have to feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do this today. This has to be up and running. Just know that we're soft launching this. We're onboarding. It's going to take some time. We understand that, and we're trying to use that messaging too, that like we're easing our way into this. So we don't want anyone to freak out. All that being said.
And if you do, freak out on Megan. This was her idea. So so I'm going to share my screen real quick. I got to see which one of these things is where I'm going. Here we go. So 365 is here. It is GLY365. Give where you live. It looks very similar to the Give Local Giving Day platform. So when donors, when foundations who might be interested in learning more about you, if you come to check out other people on this page, you'll see it. It'll be familiar to you. You could go ahead and donate right away, which is great. If you're confused and you were looking for York 365, you can click right on here over to there. And then you can search just the same way that you would for Give Local for the Give Day. So it'll come up with a random participating organizations, or you can view all. You can also still, just like you would on Giving Day, search for things. You could hide filters. Oops, I hid the filters. You could show the filters, so you could pick your cause. And you can pick your location if you want to say Hanover, Dillsburg, Shrewsbury. You can do all of those things here. I'm going to pull up mine because I know I did it. So hopefully I did it right. And again, don't feel bad if you don't do it right away, because there are so many times I've been in here as we broke the system to rebuild it for you all to make things work. The fun part about this summary page when you land on it is that if somebody just wants to donate, they can do so right here. They can also choose to be a peer-to-peer fundraiser for you year round, which is great for some board members, maybe some really wonderful volunteers that have a good network. This summary page that they see right away can be copied directly over from your Give Local profile. So when you get that email that says you're in, you can hit, just like you would on a Give Day, copy the profile from the year before. You can do that. That'll pop up right here, and then you can edit it so that when people come to your page, they see exactly what you want them to see, just a snapshot about your organization. The things that you then will be going in to fill out are these tabs here across the top. And again, not everything is required. So you can see here, I didn't put a need statement. So in the overview, it's the basics: mission, core values, the areas served. Please make sure that you click as many of those areas that you represent. These causes are very important because that'll be what uses the filter. So make sure that you go through. So if somebody searches by education, they can find you if you need to be there. And your links as well to your social media. These do appear, just a heads up, if they're not required, they will appear empty. So the more information you put in, the better your page looks for people as they come through. There's the wish list. We haven't put in our wishes yet, but we will soon. You can put in your top 3 wishes. Those can be anything that you need at the time, and you can change them however much you want to. And then here, if you have volunteer opportunities, they will appear down here in the bottom, and I'll get to that. That'll be a little bonus thing I show you at the end. So you can see here, if you guys are free tomorrow, you can go help pick up some trash at Pals Park, which is probably our nonprofit run by our youngest executive director. I don't know, is that her real title or she just found her? Holden, Megan's daughter. So you can go visit her. Here in the management is where we can break down if you have any awards. That part's not necessary. We do need to know about your executive director, your non-discrimination policy, which if you're registering for Give Local, you probably have out and ready to go as well. Staff demographics, staff information. Some of this is about your executive, and that's just going to help us too as we look at the scope of nonprofits across York County. What is the age range? It's really interesting information. What is the education level of our paid executives across our nonprofits? In governance, we'll look at your board chair, your board demographics, your board members. Not all of these are required. You'll see when you go in, they have an asterisk and or are red if they're required. I love this kind of information, the percentage of board members make a gift. I'm not going to be surprised when we see that in general, not all of our boards are donating at 100%, because I know that is a thing that we're often doing trainings about on how to get your board on board. But if we see information like that, it's another reminder to us that that is a training that we can do to support you guys and your efforts to get your boards on board. Same thing down here with these board policies. Maybe a lot of people don't have written criteria for membership of these newer nonprofits, younger nonprofits. Maybe they don't have conflict of interest policies. Then we can identify that as a thing that we can help move the needle, like we did with the non-discrimination policy. Here's some basics on your legals, your IRS letter, when you guys became a nonprofit, kind of all that stuff there. Development, we're going to talk about, do you have a development plan? It's just yes, no, I don't need to see it, so don't worry about that. This also could help, like I said earlier, do we not have, as a whole, do we lack planned giving in York County? We can bring in Leave a Legacy, maybe do some trainings with them as well. We'd love to know about your signature fundraising events. Ours, of course, is Give Local York. And that's also a fun way if someone's browsing your profile and they didn't know you had a signature fundraising event. Maybe they'll be buying tickets and joining you. And then, of course, the financials. This for me took the longest to find. So it's always good just to go in and look to see what you need and then come back in and fill it all out. We are accepting organizations with a fiscal sponsor. So if you do have a fiscal sponsor, you'll say yes, and then it will ask you to name the organization here, and that will appear. And then it will ask you to upload the agreement that is signed between you and that fiscal sponsor. That will not be posted online. That's just good practice for all of us to make sure that our policies and things are up to date. You can do up to 3 years of your tax forms. We want to see your expense breakdown. Those usually come from your financial statements. If you aren't doing full financial statements, let's talk. There are a lot of things that we can do to give a good snapshot of what your organization is doing. And then once you're done with all that, you'll hit submit, and then I'll see it, and it will be lovely. So it does seem like a lot, but it really, like I said, if you do grants enough, you have to have a lot of this information right away to get going. To show you a little bit here on the back end, when you log in and you get your email, this is what it looks like. It's actually your regular GiveGab login. So the same way you would log in, you would come into your admin dashboard. You would see home, here's your giving days. So this is this year's Give Local York, last year's, they're all right here. And then just there's the GLY365 right there. So this is where your profile, you would just copy over everything. And then you just start going. And these fields, let me find one that's not filled out. Some of them are drop downs so that you could say here, top 3 wishes, edit, and you add a row and you just save as you go. So it's all pretty easy now that if you're familiar with the system. to go through and get these things done. You'll see all this stuff at the bottom is the regular stuff that you would see for a give day, but you can also do these in your 365 profile. So if you want on 365, you can do some matches and challenges. Say you want to do an end of year match or challenge for your annual giving. Say you want to do a Giving Tuesday match, or it's your birthday or something like that. You can do that. You can also still have the managed support areas. A lot of you with multiple departments or multiple things that you do with your nonprofit. Like we currently, well, we had one for Kindness Week. It was a support area out of Give Local because it benefited our stretch pool. So you can add those support areas for people that wanted to do something specific, and then that would have its own link. And then when you're ready, see, I actually changed some stuff the other day, so I have to hit approve, and then I will go in and approve you. And so it looks alarming, I know, but we will get there together. And then I wanted to show you, let's see if there's anything. I know I'm talking a lot at you guys. It's a lot, I know. But I wanted to give you everything, and then we can talk a little bit more. We have an FAQ here. It's going to run you through why we're doing this, who's doing this, who can participate. And then it should answer most of your questions. If there's a question that you're like, why didn't they ask us this? Please let me know, because if it's something you're going to ask, somebody else is going to ask it too. And I'd love to have that up there as well. You do not need to actively tell people you're raising money on it if you don't want to. I know for some organizations you can, like, everybody has to have a profile. Not everybody has to be promoting that they're collecting money on it. We've talked to some people about that. We're working on that. And just a note that we will turn off 365 from April 1st to the end of the give day. That allows you to focus all that money into your give day platform as well for offline gifts and everything like that. And that way you're not having to do multiple streams and pulling donors from different places and all that fun. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Just like Give Day, any donation made to a nonprofit will be sent directly from GiveGab, just like it does direct deposit in 5 to 7 business days. We've seen that it's usually pretty quicker than that. It's the same fees as it is for Give Local. So it's the fee for GiveGab Bonterra and then the credit card fees. And then it is set so that people choose to pay the fees, and they have to unclick it to not pay those fees. And if we go similar to how the Give Day went, which I'm hoping we will, because donors are so lovely, over 90% of our donors choose to cover the fees. So that's always great to hear. Contact information, you will have access to your contact information. We do not at this time. There were some firewalls that GiveGab is putting into place just to make sure that everybody's information is safer than usual. So you don't have to worry about us pulling your data and contact. I mean, we wouldn't do that anyway, but we can't see it. We can see who donates publicly on your page, but I can't pull up their email address and their home address and stuff like that. I think that's really most of, yep. That's most of the FAQ for that. And then I want to share another thing, and then I'll shut up and answer some questions. Another thing that we are working on, as Megan was saying, we're looking to fill some gaps in the community that really impact you guys, is an even softer launch of Mobilize, which is going to fill the hole of the United Way's volunteer sign up that they had on their website that has been inactive recently. This is a really easy to use platform to put in events. We are still learning about it, so stay tuned for more and more information. But Mobilize, the good thing about Bonterra buying GiveGab a couple years ago is that we're getting access to so many great tools. Mobilize is one of those tools. And so you're going to be able to connect your Mobilize volunteer needs in with your Give Day and your 365 profile. So it's a one-stop shop for giving you money or giving you time, whatever people can give you. When you fill these out, it's almost like you're going to like Eventbrite and just picking concerts that you want to go to and stuff like that. It's pretty, of course, now it's not going to load for me. You can get all the information about what they need, the accessibility, maps, and then you could pick your time, say that you're attending, and then it will text you to remind you. And you as a person who is running these, it gives you the ability to then shoot out information to people. Say it's raining and you want to let them know, we're still on. Please bring your boots. We're still picking up trash. You can do that through this as well. So this is when it's in its full glory, going to be a wonderful asset for you guys. I know we all need volunteers more than ever, and it will work seamlessly with everything else that we've got going on here. And we'll hopefully, we haven't officially planned this. We are looking to bring back a day of volunteerism across the county. So this will be the tool for us to do that, and for folks in businesses and in general to find you and your nonprofit. So I just talked a lot at you. Does anyone have any questions? Feel free to raise your hands maybe first, because there are a lot of us, or drop them in the chat so that we can answer those here. Tammy just asked if we're able to embed this link into your website and other platforms. You can definitely use a link from anywhere that you send people that can redirect them to this site. So you can have on your website a donate button that clicks over to 365. You'll just have to remember that you'll need to go in and change. Well, you might have to change that when it's time for Give Local, unless there's a redirect, which I'm not sure. So I might ask about that.
And also in your 365 profile, back where Kate was showing you at the bottom there, those buttons where you could manage your matches and challenges. Underneath there is they have a widget for embedding the donate button as well. So you are able to share this link, and you know, if you are an organization that does not have your own online giving system, this can become your online giving system. So you can have it work seamlessly with your website as well, using those embedding tools.
Yep. The fees do include the 1% to us for hosting everything as well. That was a question there from Amy. This is open to everyone. It's actually, when you go to register for Give Local this year, you're going to read my new terms of agreement. In that terms of agreement, you are agreeing to have an active profile on 365. You are not then required to raise funds through it. You're just agreeing to be part of the database of nonprofits. This is going to become a tool that people have to pay to be a part of, and it will benefit them to be a part of course. You guys are getting in for free, and I'm doing that registration for you to help take that off. Maybe we won't be so kind in the future, so take advantage of me now and let me do that for you. We want to see everybody. If you're the biggest organization in York and the tiniest organization in York County, we want to see you. Your profile will need to be completed by the time, probably around the same time your profile. I'll make that clear in my language, but I'm going to say by the time we're ready and your profiles must be done for Give Local proper, this should be done as well for everybody. So that gives you plenty of time. You got till the end of March to gather all of this information.
And Kate had showed you on the back end there, but once you've completed your information on 365, there's a button for you to submit for approval. That allows Kate then to go through and make sure you've checked all the boxes. Ultimately, the sort of obvious nature, or the check whether your profile is complete, will be whether your organization is appearing publicly on 365. You'll also get a notice that your profile has been approved. But that's sort of that final step to really completing the process and being live on 365. And then because of the requirement this year to get your profile set up on 365 to participate in Give Local York, those will go hand in hand.
This is a great question from Sue about giving days in other communities using Bonterra. This is an opportunity for everyone. Your person like us would have to then pay for it. So we are very thankful to our sponsors who made this happen for us this year to bring this tool to you guys. It is an add-on. So in theory, anybody who uses GiveGab could also add Mobilize and this. It's called Philanthropy Hub on their end. Anybody could add all of these things. into their profile and their package that they get. The information that you get in your donation reports from these folks is exactly what it looks like from the Give Day. So if you've pulled that data, it's the exact same thing. So it's you know, mailing address, email, donation amount, name, all those goodies that you get usually. It all looks the same, exact same data dump when it comes out. The 1% fee that comes from us, I don't know if I have a number on how much we got from that this year. Megan might. That's the, you know, to help us pay to do all the things that we do in the platforms that we pay for to give you guys access to.
Yeah, so obviously not knowing how much use the 365 site is going to get this year, we don't know what to anticipate that 1% fee will bring in from 365 itself. I can share that the 1% fee for Give Local York for that giving day has been around $30,000 to date. And what that ends up doing for us is we invest that right back into the event. So that's what goes into, you know, event production, the marketing and the promotion and all of that fun stuff, you know, running the website, all of the pieces that go into making Give Day happen. That is what that 1% fee helps to support, that comes from those fees every year. So again, we'll have a better sense once we have 1 year of 365 under our belt, what it will look like, what those 1% fees are coming from gifts that are made through Philanthropy Hub. But the Give Local York specific for online and offline gifts was around $30,000 this year.
Great question. Sarah, this is also a great question. Right now the plan, and I don't see this changing, Megan, feel free to disagree or tell me I'm wrong. The charge that would be a future charge would be to register. We're not going to make you guys pay every year to be a part of it. Every year you will need to go in and make sure that your information is up to date. But if you don't have any changes to your board and all that stuff, it'll be very minimum on your end. We may decide moving forward that there are pieces of information we want to ask for everybody to submit, but it's not going to be like, hey, this year we're adding 65 new things that you need to fill to update. It might be like, now we want your conflict of interest policy or something like that. It's not going to be a drastic move across the board here.
Yeah. And I'll just add into, you know, at this point, we're sort of reserving the right, or saying potentially this may be a paid platform in the future, like Give Local York. Right now we're lucky. We have great support. We have a grant from the Powder Mill Foundation that has helped us to get this up and running. So I don't want to say like, absolutely, you're going to have to pay to use this in the future, or you know, or it's going to look like this. At this point, we're saying hopefully we can get it funded. We also have not at this point brought on specific sponsors for 365 like we do for Give Local York Give Day. And obviously those sponsorship fees also help us to produce and manage that. So it would always be our intent to find other people to pay for it, so we're not charging the nonprofits. But you know, just sort of the statement that like we're reserving the right that potentially in the future, depending on how things go, that might be out there. But that would never, we would never sort of bait and switch and say, well, now if you want, you know, it'll be, we get it, we're nonprofits too, so we would think that through.
And we'll be very transparent and never nefarious with our moves.
Yes.
That's the one thing about the good thing. I think we're very transparent about what we're doing. Like, you want to know, we'll let you know next year how much the 1% got us from Philanthropy Hub, so we can keep an eye on that. And it is great. Like, a lot of people would wonder, like, is that just going for salary, or is it going to, but no, it's going directly back into what we're able to do for you guys. YouTube videos can be used on these info pages, as well as like any link like that, you could just drop in there. So the look of the pages in the summary is exactly the same as the Give Day profile that you're building. And in theory could actually just be this year's page. It could look the exact same. So you can add the $20 means this cat's going to get spayed, and $50 means, you know, we're going to do a catch and release in somebody's neighborhood, you know, whatever. I always use animals and kids as my examples, because those are the things that people love. So yeah, that will look all like that. Are there any more questions? You're going to have questions as we go. I'm your person, as always. So feel free to always just shoot me an email, book time with me on my calendar. I'll put that out there in an email for you guys as well. We're here to do this together. And thank God I'm not like, it's due next week. I mean, that would just be terrible. And I would never do that to you all. Any more? Feel free to shoot any questions you don't want to ask here, or maybe you think of later. We're here to help. And if you haven't already registered for Give Local, if you do it by the end of the year, it's only $200. So make sure that you get that in there before you leave for the holidays. And then we'll get you going on the 365 platform. And then you'll start hearing from me weekly, right after you're back from your holidays. I know you all can't wait. Well, if we don't have anything else, we're gonna let everybody out early, make up some of your day. I'm up for that.
Yeah. And we
just
were recording this session, so we'll send that video out. We'll also make sure it's available in the resources section, both 365 and Give Local York, so it's easy to find. And you can come back to this if you miss our faces or want to catch up on some of the info that was shared here.
Yeah. Well, thank you all very much for joining us. Happy holidays. Happy whatever the rest of this year looks like for you. I hope it is as painless as possible.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.